So thanks everybody for joining today. Alex and I are super excited to get through this. It's really more of a workshop than it is a presentation. Honestly, we're really excited to start showing you how lenders can actually be referral sources for realtors. And I know that seems like a very daunting task, but I think by the end of this, you'll get a pretty good idea how easy it really is utilizing the Usherpa and Sales Boomerang platforms together. So it's gonna be really cool. I think you're gonna get a lot out of this, and hopefully we have some good discussions afterwards too, after we're kind of done presenting the essentially the workshop that we're doing today.
Yeah, and I love the way you've just positioned that, Paul, that it's more of a workshop, and you're going to collect tidbits and information and practices that you can, act on right away. It's not just good ideas and you have to go and figure out how to use them. It's things that you can use right away. So why don't we get into it? I'll quickly just share a little bit about Sales Boomerang for those of you that don't know who Sales Boomerang is, and then Paul, you'll do your part and explain who Usherpa is, which is really the center of this entire conversation. So Sales Boomerang is a borrower intelligence system that tells lenders when anyone in their database is ready for a loan. And now, and you'll see some of this in this presentation, also will give you a chance to schedule future loans with your borrowers, which is something that does not exist currently in the market. And so how is this possible? How do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do? Because we know that borrowers will have 11 mortgage-related transactions in their lifetime. And Sales Boomerang's mission is, right now you don't see it say on this shirt here, the shirt says love, but it's no borrower left behind, right? That's our mission. And so if your borrower is going to have 11 mortgage-related transactions, we want you to be the one that does it for them. And we want them to know that you're there for them, right? So that the borrower feels like they own you. And I know it's a little different of what everyone usually says. Hey, I want to own my customer. But the truth of the matter is you want your customer to feel like they own you. And that's true relationship there, right? And so that's where we focus on identifying and then delivering all the opportunities about your borrower or buyer that there is an event happening. And we work incredibly well with Usherpa, and Usherpa has developed something you guys are about to hear that is the only ones in the industry that are doing it the way that they're doing it. And you're going to hear about it in just a second. So push it over to you, Paul.
Yeah, and hey, again, Paul Harrington here with Usherpa. We were actually the first mortgage CRM, believe it or not. We've been around for about 25 years. We were developed by a realtor / loan officer back in the day, and we've really strive to, as we know that there's a lot of CRMs in the mortgage industry, everyone knows that. Well, what we strive to do is really make things as easy as possible and really engage with your relationships that you have. So we're really turning the CRM into really more of a relationship engagement platform, and it actually is perfect. Even just this little part of what we're talking about that we do that's very unique to Usherpa, it really is about your relationships and how you engage with them and how you actually can provide value to either your referral partners or your borrowers, for that matter, with the intelligence that we're getting from Sales Boomerang. So we've been doing this a long time, and we've really tried to make it as easy as possible.
Awesome.
All right. Oh, go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
Either one of us. So look, this is the agenda for the day. Okay. So this is what we're going to start with. This is kind of the path we're going to go down. We're going to start with the loan officer and realtor relationships. What do they look like right now? Right? What do they feel like? What do they look like? What are they right now? And what can they be? Right? How can we change perspective and think about the relationship between you and your referral partners, your realtors, with this new approach? Then we're going to get into the unique selling proposition itself between the two organizations and what you can deliver to your referral partners, right? What is smart marketing? What is borrower intelligence? What is intelligent data? What is that? And how do you make it and make it an automated smart marketing process? And then ultimately, this is the entire purpose of this conversation, is creating the infinite referral loop. It is brilliant. I can't wait for Paul to share it with you guys. It's really amazing. So let's kick it off with the very first part of the agenda, which is the loan officer and realtor relationship. And then we can kind of go back and forth here, Paul, and guys, by the way, because this is like a workshop, you should be writing questions and comments and ideas and things like that as we go through this. Don't hold on to it. Definitely write things down for yourself, but get into the comments section. Let us know you're there. Let us know you're participating. Let us know if you're drinking anything along with us, and keep us in the loop, because look, this could have been a live presentation in some event and we all could have hung out. But since we don't have that, let's bring that reality and that human side into this. So don't hesitate to write something. In fact, all of you should write something right now, letting us know that you're there and listening, right? So,
yeah. And yeah, if whatever you think about, which is the state of the referrals from realtors right now, you can type that in, just kind of give you what your take on how this works. I mean, we have found that, it's kind of it's very much a one-way street. You're asking for referrals all the time from your realtors and not giving them any. I mean, that's kind of, I think, I was talking to a lender and he said that he in his career, he lended for about 10 years. He said he might have, twice given a referral to a realtor, which is kind of it's hard. We understand it's hard to get to them first and give your realtors actual business.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a current realtor lender relationship feels like this, right? It's like, hey, put the referrals here and
Exactly.
and just keep giving, and
Yep.
and we'll keep taking, and what are we going to do? This is kind of what it feels like, right?
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is the feeling.
Yeah, and I talked to I was just, before we were doing this, I just wanted to reinforce like what we were thinking as far as like, do realtors feel this way? Do they feel like it's a one-way street on the other side, right? I mean, you might feel like it's a one-way street from the lending side because you're not able to give them referrals, right? But I asked a pretty high-producing realtor here in Denver the other day. A good buddy of mine works for a really big realty firm here, and I asked him just like, hey, how many, a year, how many deals would you say you get from mortgage loan officers? And he said, and I quote, virtually none, maybe two if it's a good year, from all of his mortgage referrals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the story. That's the story for pretty. I mean, I would say that's probably the story for almost everybody, right?
Yeah, I'd like to echo that, Paul, because I spoke to a friend of mine. His name is Daniel Brover. He works for the Northrop team, which is nationally recognized as one of the top realtors in the country. And he said the same thing. He's done 17 deals this year,
Yep.
and every one of those were ones that he originated and brought to the lenders that he works with, right? So it's interesting. I too have heard the same thing, and we're in completely different parts of the country. So maybe this is a good chance for people to chime in comments and give your thoughts. What percentage of business do you give to your realtors, and what percentage they give to you, and how often, right? Maybe just throw some things in those comments and get involved. But that's the current state of the realtor lender relationship, right, Paul? I mean, that's
Right.
what it's like right now.
Exactly.
It's one way. It's deals for donuts, right? That's what it feels like. And so we had a question, and really Usherpa has come up with a solution that's just amazing for unifying, for bringing together, for aligning the interests of the referral partnership here, of the relationship here. And so we ask a question, and we know the answer is possible, right? What if you were able to deliver more referrals to your realtors in
Right.
1 month than they could in an entire year? Right? Like, that's a question. And you've built a solution for that, and the how we're going to show you, right? We're going to get to the how. That's what's coming. So the current state of the realtor lender relationship is one way, and we believe it can be different, right? Which is why we're here right now.
Right.
So the next
Alex,
part of our agenda.
Dovetail off
Sure.
just a little bit, but I just saw one of the comments that came in, and it was so perfect. We were talking about this before we even started this. It was so great that he said it's a tough time out there for realtors. Like it is a tough time out there for realtors. So this is why this is so important right now, what we're talking about, because it's a way for you to help them in their time of need, right? So it's, I mean, we'll get through it now. Just got super excited because that's exactly what this workshop is here for, is to really help you with giving them, you know, business that they wouldn't normally have had.
Absolutely. I love that you brought that up just now, Paul, because there are literally realtors that have already switched jobs because they feel like they can't do anything, right?
Absolutely.
It's over. There's some that are just never going to come back. And this is what we're going to share with you guys today in this workshop is how to throw them a lifeline, but not a lifeline for COVID, but a real strategy for forever, right? This is a forever strategy. This is something, you know, when something is infinite, right? So, and that's what we're going to talk about at the end of this. That's exactly what we're going to get to.
Right.
So the unique selling proposition, we found this quote and we thought it was perfect for this, right? If you find something, and this Steve Scott did a great job with this, I love it. If you find something that works, double down on it. This is a strategy that the most successful companies and people in the world do. When they find something that works, they don't stick their toe in and see if it continues to work. They double down on it, right? They go all in. They go, let's maximize it, but they give it a real shot to make it work and then double down on it, right? And so what does that mean? Let's go over this next slide. This is a really cool slide.
Yeah.
That really speaks to what things look like right now and what things really look like when you're not using a great system like Usherpa and don't have any sort of automated intelligence like Sales Boomerang inside your system. Here's what it looks like, right? So in 2010, you may have gotten a referral from a realtor. You got the deal, they got the deal, everyone is happy. But remember, on average, a consumer, a borrower, human being living in the United States today will have 11 mortgage-related transactions. 11. So here's what a timeline may look like, right? 2010, the home was purchased. By 2013, they've been marketed to by everyone.
Right.
And in 2013, they make the decision to go ahead and do a refinance. And they do it. And some big bank got that business, right? For whatever reason, better marketing, happenstance, whatever the situation is, they got that business.
Exactly.
8 years from their original purchase, they're buying another home. A couple years, I mean, really, come on, who isn't refinancing right now? The entire country is refinancing. So in 2020, they take advantage of the current situation, and what do? They refinance. But in that scenario, you and the realtor got one deal, just one. But there's been 4 transactions. And by the way, and Paul, you know this, you and I go over data and we become these data geeks and get fully involved with all of this information. This scenario that you're seeing on screen right now, this is not fictional.
No.
This is factual. This is what happens.
Yeah, you see it all the time. I mean, especially with the big banks. I mean, you're not, chances are you're not banking with the mortgage company that you did your first transaction with, right? So you're banking with somebody else. So they got your data. They know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to hammer you with that. So being in front of them consistently with actual things that make sense to them is
right.
And will actually help them in their financial future. That's how you keep them, right?
So speaking of that, this is what it looks like without having a system in place. This is what it looks like with having a system in place. Having an automated system in place, you go from, as a lender, you go from doing one deal in 2010 and hopefully something happens afterwards, like that hope approach. And it's like, oh, well, that's not me. I'm not that person. This definitely, there's a reason, and we're going to get to this down the road, but there's a reason why 85%, okay, listen to this statistic, 85% of your active borrowers will leave you every single year. And you're like, Alex, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let me explain to you. Let me tell you how much sense it makes. Your borrowers aren't active from 2010 to sometime in 2013, but they became active here, and 85% of them will leave you every single year. That's just a statistic. Black Knight produced it last year. They produced it differently. They said you only retain 15% of your active borrowers every year. Well, the opposite then is true too. That means 85% of your active borrowers leave you, right? So That's what that's what this represents. 85%. This is what it looks like when you have the system in place that Paul's going to share in just a moment, and an automated intelligence system. You go from 1 deal to 4 deals for you, 2 deals for your realtor, right? 4 deals for you, 2 deals for your realtor. And throughout the entire process, and we're going to get into this in just a second, throughout the entire process, you are communicating to your realtor all of these events. Now, here's something. Ready? It's a workshop, right, Paul? So here's one of the first things you should write down. You ready? So first of all, there's 4 deals for you, 2 deals to be made. But how do you get your realtor involved and get them more opportunities than just a deal? Here's how. Okay. Every event, every single event is something you share with the realtor. Now, this is something that, and Paul, you'll be able to talk to some of the successes with some of the existing clients that are using the system the way you've intended it to. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But here's something that most people get shocked by. All right, let's go back one slide. Something people get shocked by. Alex, why in the world would we tell our realtor about a refi?
Yeah.
Well, that's an event that is connected to their customer and the home that realtor sold them. Wouldn't it be great if that realtor could pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Alex, I see you're working with Paul again on a refinance. That's so great. I'm so happy for you. I know you're in great hands. I know you're going to be taken care of. If there's anything I can help you with, as far as real estate, let me know. But I'm so excited that you're working with Paul again,
Right.
and that you're getting a refinance there. They are the best at what they do, and I'm really excited for you." Okay.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if anyone knows this, and I'm sure you all do when I start to mention this. We, people that go and do a refinance or a purchase, talk about it. We talk about it to everyone. We talk about it to our friends, to our family, to our coworkers, to everyone. Hey, looking for a house. Hey, looking to refinance. Oh, I just did. We talk about it nonstop. So what do you think happens when your realtor calls your borrower, their buyer, and says, "Hey, just want to congratulate you"? Don't you think they've had conversations with at least 5 people that are also about to purchase or refi? Of course they are. Of course they are. And so what's going to happen, and we've heard these success stories, "Hey, I'm so glad you contacted me. Yeah, I'm working with Paul. I'm so happy about that. By the way, I'm glad you called. I want to introduce you to my sister who's actually thinking of buying, and I didn't think of you for some reason, but now that you called, I'm so grateful for it. Here's an introduction." And Mother Teresa said it best, right, Paul? Don't look for big things. You think a referral to your realtor has to be a purchase. No. A referral to your realtor has to be an opportunity to connect with their customer the same way you want to connect with them. So don't look for just the big things, the small things. And when you do them with love, when you do it for just literally your realtor saying congratulations, you get great results. I'd love to hear from people, and Paul, I know you want to jump in with something. I'd love to hear from people in comments and thoughts. Are you doing that now? Have you ever called your realtor and telling them that you're doing a refi for a buyer? And do you have a success story on referring that opportunity back to your realtor? Have you ever thought about doing this? Is this brand new for you? Give us some thoughts, give us some feedback. Remember, this is a workshop. So
Yeah,
Paul,
absolutely. I mean, to your point, and we talked about, and until a couple of days ago, I didn't even think about that as a way for a loan officer to reach out to their real estate agents. And like in Usherpa, you have all of that data, right? You have who you did the transaction with, when it happened, what the amounts were. You have all that information in the system. And why wouldn't you then take that information and tell your real estate agent about it? People ask me all the time about, well, it's like the first slide that we did, the handout, right? That's how you think when you talk to real estate agents. So if you just change your brain and just see, how can I add more and more value? That's not just co-branded marketing. We do co-branded marketing for you. That's great, but that's not a thing of value. Telling your real estate agent that you're doing a refinance with their client, still is their client, even if they are thinking about it more as a transaction. Tell them about it and reach out to them about that refinance. It actually, any type of conversation that you can have with your real estate agent about that client is a good conversation to have, right?
And isn't it the best part that you are about to show everyone that connection to your realtor is going to happen automatically?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you forget, right? You're in the middle of something. You're like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to call Alex and tell him about this later today or this morning or tomorrow, whatever it is." and then things happen. But with Usherpa, the connection happens automatically. You don't have to be the one to remember to contact your realtor. Your realtor is going to be contacted automatically. We may be giving away some of the love and surprise that's coming, but that is a big part of what we're about to show that infinite loop for. And so you remember, guys, in the beginning, and Paul just mentioned it, we had the image of a hand that said referral here. Okay. That hand is about to change. You know what it's going to change to? You guys have heard of the phrase, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Your hand that was originally empty is now going to be filled with opportunities. And you're going to be saying to your realtors, hey, I got something for you. We're going to help you double. Remember the name of this entire presentation. It is to double your realtor's business. And you will, your agent's business, you will easily double. Remember the question we asked, what if you could deliver more referrals to your agent in 1 month, they could deliver to you in 1 year? And that is absolutely what's going to happen. It's happening. It's what's happening now. It's what people that are using Usherpa with this intelligence in the background, they're doing this right now for their agent partners. So that hand is going to change from give a referral here to here is the food. And what happens to someone when they constantly deliver opportunities to you? What will happen to your agent's mentality when they say, hey, who should I refer this next opportunity to? The person that's constantly giving me back opportunities, or some random lender, or some random loan officer, some random company, or some random person that I have a good relationship with, but to be honest with you, I haven't gotten a referral from them in the last 2 years, but I know they do a great deal. That's fine, right? That's the idea. Let's transform the concept of what they're doing on average, which, Paul, we know the statistic, 12 deals on average. I'd love to hear from people. This is a great thing to comment on too. Give us your thoughts. This is what we found out. I had somebody tell me, not somebody, the same person I spoke to, Daniel. I said there's 12, there's statistics that say there's 12 deals a year is what an average realtor will do. And he kind of giggled about it a little bit. And he said, Alex, in our office, most people do half of that in our office.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Especially right now. I mean,
well, right now, forget about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
If you don't have a source and a good way of generating purchase business for yourself as a realtor, that's all you do, obviously, right? But if you don't have that source, you're really hurting right now. So let's talk about the opportunity here. Okay, let's talk about what it is that is really happening. Okay, so, and let's start at the base. So, we have this at the top, you have this number 1 profit center, but let's go the opposite way. Let's start with number 3 and work our way up to number 1. Okay, so number 3, a predictable base, right? You will always know with a good intelligence system inside your database, with a brain inside your database, you will always know how many opportunities exist in your database, right? So for instance, if you have 1,000 records in your database, you can assume, based on all of the statistics and all the information we gather from over nearly 5 million records currently in the system, about 400 opportunities this year from 1,000 records in your database, approximately, right? It could be 350, it could be 450, right? Approximately. So you can assume that for the year, right? That's opportunities living. That's your base, right? You look at your database and you go, okay, what are my opportunities? Okay, so I'm going to have 400 opportunities this year from my customer base. I know I'm converting at about a 10% ratio. Great. So no, you know what? I have about 40 deals over the next 12 months that I can count on, right? Now let's talk about what else I can do. So that's the base. Now we move up to the next phase, referral partners. You want to stack the deck. If you can take your realtors, your agents, and get their data in here, now you've got the next layer up, right? First of all, it's records and deals and opportunities that never existed in your database, right? You would have never had access to these people unless somehow you would have crossed. And by the way, Paul, I'm going to share this with everyone. You know what we get a lot of questions about? A lot of people ask us, these records must exist in everyone's database. There's not that many unique records out there. Everyone's got to be sharing everyone's data. That's not true.
Not true.
We did an analysis. Not true at all. Less than 1%. We did analysis on about 5 million records, and about 46,000 of the 5 million existed in more than one database.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? So
Yep.
you're stacking the deck. You're taking so if you're taking notes on things, this is a great thing to take a note on. You have your base, right? Then you have your referral partner's base. Okay. Now you've stacked. Now all of their opportunities are coming to you and to your partner. Okay. Then this is the number one thing. Now, how do you make this pyramid? We all know this. This has been documented in all industries. It doesn't matter what industry, doesn't matter what situation. It's very simple. The more repeat business you do and the more referrals you get, the more profitable your business becomes, period. And we know with profit, you can make the right investments in yourself, in your people, in your community, in your partners, in your technology, all of it, right? All of it. There's many people, and Paul, you can speak to this. There are many organizations right now with all these margin calls that have happened over the last couple of months that were not profitable, that were just doing loans. They're in a bad shape. They're in a bad place right now, right?
Yeah.
So profitability is where you want to reach to. So Paul, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to this slide or not.
No, I think you covered it pretty well. I mean, I would just say without systems in place, having a predictable base is difficult, right? So without having something in place to know what opportunities you really have, and having the intelligence like what you provide with Sales Boomerang to just your borrowers, your percentage of those opportunities is going to be lower. If you have those notifications, you have that information about your buyers and know exactly when they're going to purchase a home or thinking about refinancing or something like that, just based on their situation, that predictable base and that percentage of closing of that is going to go down. So having systems like what we put together at Sales Boomerang and Usherpa, that will help that tremendously. And now with the referral partners and where we're going with this today, what we've kind of created is helping you get more predictability with your referral partners as well. So I think that's which will then cause you to get to that profit center. So I mean, you nailed it, but I think just having a system in place is going to make everything a little bit more predictable.
Love it. It's great points. I hope everyone's taking some notes and jotting some things down. The real fun information, even above what we've already seen, is about to be displayed to you. So how are we doing this? Hey, how do we do all this? Keep listening, because that's what's coming next, right? So we just went through the loan officer realtor relationship as it stands today, right? That handout to the unique selling proposition and putting all of those opportunities in your hand, and instead of it being empty every time you come in, it's filled with opportunities for you and your referral partners. Now we're going to talk about smart marketing. Okay.
So how this actually is put into place.
It's how it's put into place. Exactly right. So, everyone talks about intelligence, data intelligence, borrower intelligence. We're all hearing this and we're all talking about this for the last couple of years, but it's really about being smart in the way you approach your marketing, being specific, being measurable, making sure that it's acceptable, making sure that it's realistic, and making sure that it's timely. And so how does that work? How does this whole thing work, Paul? How does this opportunity of marrying the agent and loan officer together work with Usherpa? Well, I'll let you take it from here.
So how we're doing this at Usherpa, and this came about with just in talking with a bunch of our mortgage companies that first off were on Sales Boomerang, and we had borrower intelligence coming into our system just for the loan officers to then automate alerts to go out based on if they're pulling credit, based on if they're listing their home, based on a lot of different of these events that Sales Boomerang is tracking. So we came up with this concept of, well, how about we help the loan officers have that unique selling proposition to their real estate agents and start connecting with them on a better level. So what we mean by partner with the realtor, essentially what you're doing is you're talking with the real estate agent saying, hey, I have this great business intelligence and I would like to monitor your data to make sure that I'm serving up opportunities for you on a consistent basis. So this is actually the easiest part, because essentially you're just telling them, hey, I'm going to start giving you more referrals if you partner with me. So they say yes, you sign them up for our co-marketing system, and then Go ahead, Alex. And then essentially what you need to do, I mean, what the realtor does is they literally, and this has happened multiple times, to where they have their own portal and they upload their data, which is mapped to the loan officer. No, you can co-brand marketing with this data or not. It doesn't, it depends on what the real estate agent wants to do. But essentially, it's having the records in the Usherpa platform that they upload, and then
Is it?
now that we have it, go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
I was going to just ask you a question. How hard is it for a realtor to set this up and upload their data?
Oh, it's really simple. So essentially, the loan officer signs them up, right? So the realtor literally does nothing there. All they have to do is essentially submit their data to the website, and it's done. I mean, in a day.
That's
It's
simple.
easy.
Wow. Okay. So super simple.
Yep.
And then for everyone that's wondering this, how secure can the realtor feel that the data they're giving is to be shared between the LO and that realtor, and it's not going to other people and
Yeah.
not going to other loan officers? Talk to that. I think that's
Yeah,
really important.
it's completely secure. So when a lot of loan officers have gone to their real estate agents, those questions have certainly been asked. And the best part about it is the loan officer enrolls them, but then the real estate agent has their own essentially database within Usherpa that is locked down to them. It's almost like the loan officers have a read-only version of their database, and the realtor really has the full control to do whatever they want to do with that data in the system. So it's completely locked down, never sold, never anything. It's really just the realtor's database within the co-marketing portal of Usherpa.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, listen, that, like, for everyone on the call right now, if you're a lender and you're looking at this for your team, or if you're an originator or loan officer and you're thinking about this for yourself or your branch, think about how valuable that is. A read only. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, when you do this with me, I can't touch your data.
Mm-hmm.
This is you. I'm doing this for you, like for us. Let's be honest. I'm doing this for us, not for
Right.
you. I'm doing this for us. I'm going to benefit from it. You're going to benefit from it. And most importantly, the buyer borrower is going to benefit from it. So I think that was very important. And we shared that with everyone. Drop in those comments, guys, with some thumbs up if that's really exciting for you, because I think that's one of the most exciting things that you've built. Paul, I think that's one of the most brilliant things that you guys have done to completely take the power away from the loan officer lender to even mess with that data. That should give the realtor all the confidence in the world to be like, oh, all right, well, good. Then I see you have my best interest in mind, which I think is great. I just think it's fantastic. Okay. So step 3.
Yeah. So then what? I mean, this is the power, right? This is where you really start to see where the benefit of this is coming from. So essentially, they put their database within the co-marketing portal, Usherpa, and then we start through Sales Boomerang tracking that data to then give opportunities to the real estate agents. So those question marks of the database of, well, we don't know when. I mean, it's always that way. I mean, you don't know what's going on with them unless you're tracking what's actually going on with them, right? So these question marks start turning into an actual live event that can then be referred over to the real estate agents. Okay. And all this data, the things that they're monitoring and everything, all of the data that we're sending over to the real estate agents is all public data. It's not something that they wouldn't be able to go find if they wanted to. We're not going to be telling personal information that we shouldn't be. It's literally just notifying them, hey, there's a potential event that's happening right now that you should probably talk to your buyer about right now. So it's essentially identifying an actionable event through completely compliant language and everything to the real estate agent. So essentially, automatically through our system, we are notifying them, and then you can go to the next one, Alex, and actually delivering alerts. So not only do we deliver alerts to the real estate agent, we email them about any of those notifications that are happening through their database, essentially giving them opportunities, or at least potential opportunities right away. Then we're also emailing you, making sure that you know about this. We're also push notifying you through our app of those alerts as well. So what we're trying to do, is automating everything for you so that the deals just start happening. You just start hand feeding opportunities to your real estate agents that you know about, so then you're prepared to get that referral coming back to you. So it's essentially creating that loop of you're monitoring their data, you're monitoring your own data, you're letting them know about anybody that you have, you're also notifying them about anybody that they have, and it starts to really create this great partnership with the real estate agent. So it's creating that infinite referral loop with your agents. And the best part about this too, and I saw a comment that someone put in, is you can start to get so much more out of the important relationships that you have with your real estate agents out of much less real estate agents, right? I mean, you don't have to put in, I mean, people do this all the time in our database and try and market to 1,500 real estate agents and see what sticks. It's like, no. You can hyper focus on a few different people and get more business for you, but more importantly for them, than you ever have before. So it's a really easy way of doing it. The hard part, I mean, it's not even the hard part. The part that you really have to get yourself in the mindset of is just learning how to talk to your real estate agents about how many deals you're going to give them. As long as you can do that, which shouldn't be too terribly hard, you can make this system work for you. It's really simple after that.
Well, what's interesting, Paul, is it's not hard at all. When you realize for yourself, like there's an incredible epiphany, which by the way, I want to jump into the epiphany, but guys, everyone on the call that's watching this, you ready? This is a real image. This isn't Photoshop. This isn't a fake infinite staircase. That exists in Munich in Germany. That's a real staircase. So for any of you enthusiasts into the Escher's, infinite staircase or infinite loops in general, there's a physical example of a real what someone designed that exists. You can see it, you can walk on it. I recommend it. But going back to what we were just talking about, it's not hard at all. And this is an epiphany. This is a realization that I hear from so many people when they start getting notifications on all these events. It's a shock. It's a shock. People are like, no way I would have known that all of these events are happening in my database. And then they go, oh my goodness, if it's happening in my database, we all put our pants on the same way every day. The people living in my agent's database have to be having the same events. They have to be. It's no different. And all of a sudden you come to them and you say, hey, agent, okay, in the last month, I had 84 opportunities come to me. Some were purchased, some were refi, but 84 from this much of a database. I know you have a big database. What if I was to deliver those things to you? You're not guessing. Here's your hand filled with opportunities already, right? And from day one that we do this, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, that from day one, you are going to feel the effects of it. You're going to discover opportunities to talk to your customers in ways you've never had before. And it's just going to become second nature. It's just going to become like what you do. It's going to become a habit. All right, what are my opportunities for the day? Who do I call? Okay, calling to congratulate this guy, calling to congratulate this guy. This looks like a purchase specifically. I'm going to see if I can offer them business, right? It's going to become part of their business and part of your business. And now you're a village, right? This is one of my favorite things about what you've built and what you've automated, Paul, within Usherpa, is that you truly work as a village where your buyer hears from two people constantly. They hear from the loan officer, they hear from you, from the lender, they hear from the realtor, the agent. And when you constantly hear from similar people, you feel the security, the confidence in that you've chosen the right people to work with because you're working on it together. Hey, it's me again. Hey, it's me again. Oh my goodness, here we go again. This is great, right? And that's the kind of comfort you want to create because remember, guys, and gals, everyone that's on the call, 79% of the time, a borrower will choose the first lender they speak with, and I'd assume, and Paul, you may have a statistic on this, it's probably even higher on the realtor side.
Oh yeah, I don't have a specific statistic, but it's extremely high. The first realtor they talk to is the one that they're going to go with, right? So making sure that you are the one helping your real estate agents, especially with the second transaction, if you're the one that is making sure that they are in front of that potential buyer first, that's everything for them, right? Because we know that real estate agents are not good about traditionally staying in touch with their client database, especially they don't have this data that we're talking about at all. So
They're not allowed to.
it's really about giving them the information that is going to have the high, I mean, just the most, what am I trying to say?
The biggest impact.
The best opportunities you can possibly give them, and they're already clients of theirs that they have already done business with. It's a slam dunk.
And here's the beauty of this infinite loop. Okay, this is what we've all been building up to, was this part of it, right? This is the beauty of this infinite loop. Pick a place to start. Pick any place. You guys ever see that magic that happens on TV where they put cards on TV and everyone chooses the same card, right? Doesn't matter where you start here.
Yep.
You can start with data intelligence and go to the right and go to alert a realtor and the two-way referral marketing, lifelong mutual referral. And it just doesn't matter where you start. That's the beauty of this infinite loop. It's constant. And imagine all the people your agents are putting into their database of people that just came to see an open house, that they wish they could be notified when one of those people are actually doing something. Now you can notify them, right? Now you can make every open house much more valuable than they've ever done. As long as they collect some good information that they can put into their database, you can bring their database to life. Now, I mentioned something a second ago that said it's literally illegal for them to get some of this agents. If there's any agents on the call, but you lenders, I know there's a lot more lenders on the call. There is literally a limitation for agents. What's that limitation? The limitation is credit. They are not allowed to know anything about any credit unless you and or the borrower are the ones that are delivering it to them with the borrower's acknowledgement, right? But you as a lender have all the right to know everything about a borrower's credit, all of it. So there's something that you have access to that a realtor is simply not allowed to have access to. So you are going to bring their database to life in a way that they simply couldn't. Doesn't matter. Unless the laws change, they could not do this on their own, which is why we, Sales Boomerang, we don't work with realtors. We only work with lenders, because to us guys, there's one common denominator in any transaction regarding a home. You, the lender. Without you, it can't happen, right? I can't go to a realtor and be like, I want to buy this house. And the realtor's like, come on in, move in. We're going to get the truck going. Just park and go. Can't do that, right? They need you. They need you. And so without you, it never happens. And so that's why we only work with you. But you can now lend a hand to your agent partners. And this is why this infinite loop is so amazing. And again, Paul can speak to this more. It's fully automated. Once the data goes in, it's fully automated, right, Paul?
Yeah, so exactly right. So essentially, as long as there is a realtor that's partnered with their data in here, we are constantly doing all of this marketing, constantly doing all of these alerts to the realtors, constantly doing all of these things, literally without you having to do anything at all. There's nothing you have to do at that point. What your job is to make sure that your realtor knows how to consistently upload data into it. But even if they don't, even if they just drop in their full book of business and they never touch it again, there's going to be so many opportunities in there anyway that it's okay for just getting that. But that's all that really is an action item. Other than that, it's all automated as far as reaching out to the real estate agent, making sure that the loan officer is notified about what's going on. When appropriate for the loan officer's database, automated marketing based on what type of intelligence that we're getting. All of that stuff is completely automated with the two systems combined. You don't have to do anything other than let the marketing go out, or if you're really invested in this and really want to make some money, make the phone calls as they come into your mobile device and just make money that way. I think there's loan officers, because I mean we started this whole thing about a couple years ago at this point, Alex, I think.
Yeah.
And the loan officers that have bought in to utilizing Sales Boomerang intelligence through Usherpa and then automating the process or actually making those phone calls, they are some of the top producing loan officers at the companies that we work for. There's no if and or buts. I was talking to Michael Fouché, and I mean, I've seen him on a call with you. You did one with him on LinkedIn, if I remember correctly. Yes. And that was before we even put this realtor part in. now since we've had this realtor part and he's the number one at his company, and he attributes, I mean, the majority, I would say, to this infinite loop that he's created. So
100%.
yeah, we'll get into actual data as far as a company in general as far as this goes, but it's something
in
that
just a minute. Yeah.
is super easy to do. The system works for you, and you don't have to work to get to this point. The only thing you have to do is have a good conversation with the real estate agent, sign them up, get their data in, and boom, off to the races.
And look, and I know many of you are on the call right now who are having stellar years, and we're proud of you and happy for you and truly congratulating you on your success. You know, this is one of the industries that's truly the light of the country right now with what's going on financially, right? This is an industry that's actually blossoming and helping the economy be stabilized, right? And so congratulations to all of you for that. And at the same time, it's important to not be short-sighted, right? It's important to not just think about, hey, volume is through the roof. I got deals coming out of my ears. You know, I'm kind of here just listening. No, this is a time to plan so that this opportunity for both of you, or your agents and yourselves, is perpetual. Doesn't matter what situation you get into, right? If you have the base and then you have the next level and you have the profitability, then it really, you know, you want to get to a place where the market doesn't scare you, right?
Exactly.
You are on track. And there's so many people out there that can tell you, it doesn't matter what's going on out there. I got my systems in place. I'm good, right? Might dip a little, but that's about it. I know I'm going to be right back up. You know, they're not concerned versus the organizations and the people that are like, every day is a fight for a meal. And so just think about it. If at all you want this system that works with you, right now is the time to go, all right, well, let me reach out to you, Sherpa. Let me understand how I can turn this on. What does it look like? Let me inquire with Sales Boomerang and find out, what does this mean for our data? And we'll talk about this towards the end, but understand what you've been missing, right? Sometimes you don't know what's important if you don't know what's missing. And that's something that we can identify for you and say, look, this is what you lost in the last 12 months from your database, right? Do you want to recover this? It's very important. So let's jump into some final thoughts and some statistics and some things like that. By the way, throw in your comments, throw in your thoughts, your questions. We're going to get to some Q&A. I think we're doing well. We should have some time for some Q&A here and cover some of the questions. But look, here's some statistics, right? And this is intelligent statistics coming from the Sales Boomerang side, right? And then we're going to show a real client statistic that's using Usherpa and Sales Boomerang and utilizing this practice. Okay, so on average, the organizations that are using this borrower intelligence system, they're seeing that 2.48% of their database will have an event. Okay, we'll have a mortgage-related event every single month. 2.48%. That's the average. Okay, on average, you're going to add about 49 more loans per month when you're identifying opportunities in your database that will equal about 13 million in additional volume. And the return on investment by investing into great intelligence and automated borrower intelligence is about 20x. Okay, now that's the average. When you have both, and you know, we really wish our client, our mutual client that's using both of our systems, was willing to share, but we totally understand why they didn't want to share their name right now. They're having an incredible year. They've been having an incredible several years. Yeah, they're just crushing it, and they didn't want to give any one of their neighbors that are competing with them a leg up as to what they're doing. So these are real numbers from a real organization that's using both of our systems and utilizing this program. Okay,
portion of it, yeah.
137 apps, okay, and 98 funded deals. This is in a month. Okay, this is what they're adding. Okay, they're at 24.7 return on investment. You see their average loan amounts. You see the average volume. They have 38 million in application volume. They have 25 million in actually converted volume already, right? So this is what happens when you have both of these things running in place, okay? And these are real live results. I don't know if you wanted to add to anything.
Those apps are based off of the notifications, the borrower intelligence from Sales Boomerang, then coming into Usherpa, then being automatically marketed to
Yep.
and or having the loan officers, if they want to, which I recommend everyone doing, actually reaching out to those people, because that's the lowest hanging fruit you possibly can have. So connecting those, and then not only that, with everything that we're talking about right now today, notifying the real estate agents of their potential deals comes directly back to you. Well, because think about it, if you're telling your real estate agent about someone that just pulled credit or whatever it is, you don't tell them what the credit score is, you just know that they pulled a mortgage related credit, right? Or they listed their home, or their whatever it may be. If you're telling the real estate agent that information and they're actually starting a transaction with them, you think they're not going to give that back to you? Of course they're going to give that back to you.
Of course.
So it continues that, and it doesn't stop at that transaction. It's continually monitored, like we said, throughout that loop.
Yeah, it's that infinite loop. So, and guys, just a reminder for everyone that's listening, this isn't the entire volume for this company, right? This is additional. This is just on top of what they're already doing.
Yep.
So think about that, right? And so I'm going to go through this really quick, and then we're going to get to the end. And I think we have a few minutes for Q&A. This is just a recap. This is just rounding off everything we talked about. With the two systems working together, it's about retention of your borrowers. It's about adding loan volume. It's about profitability, and it's about being able to retain your team and add production to your agents, to your partners, to your referral partners, whoever those referral partners may be. You can add volume to them, right? That's the big takeaway from what happens when you have that infinite loop of referrals. This is the kind of impact you have when you have automated borrower intelligence powered by a system like Usherpa. This is the kinds of results and impact you can have for yourself and all of your partners.
Yep.
And so this comes, to the end of the workshop. This is how you guys can reach out to us. But we also, I think, have some time. I mean, we have a good, 5-6 minutes here to maybe field some questions. I know, Paul, you and your team are running the question part. Is there anything? Right now is a good time to ask some questions and chime in with ideas.
Oh, here's actually from on our team, Amanda on our team. She said that it's 75% of both buyers and sellers use the first agent they interview. So 75% is the first person. So just closing that loop of that.
Yeah. So so you want to be first, right? I mean, that's, and we've heard of this speed to lead stuff, but it's more than that. It's being there first with value, right? It's not just getting there and be like, oh, I'm not sure what I can do for you yet, but just don't forget me. No, that doesn't work. Being there with value, that's what makes you first to the plate. What else do we have? What questions?
There's a good one from Anissa, actually, over there at Premier Nation.
Hey, Anissa.
She asked, when the realtor receives alert, is the LO contact information included? Yes, 100%. It shows, so on their alert that they get, it shows, who the borrower is, what house they're in, and then what partner that they're connected to, which would be the loan officer, and their contact information. Absolutely. So it's perfect. So you're giving them an opportunity, and you're again letting them know how to contact you to actually start the loan transaction on top with that house that they're going to be getting. So yeah, absolutely, that's a good one there.
Fantastic, great question. What else do we have?
There's also another one. So are there examples you can show of what they look like? So that was Joy that came in. So she said, are these FB, Facebook or other social media, or is it email? So it's just emails right now, because I don't know how we can do the social quite yet, but I kind of just described how one looked. But Joey, you can reach out to me, and I'm happy to go through exactly what they look like, exactly what the system looks like on both sides too, because we have our platform that shows all of your Sales Boomerang alerts and all of those notifications that we come in. And then we have your co-marketing side. Then we have the realtor's version of the co-marketing side, which is a very just kind of locked down just database of the information that they want to upload in there, and they can see all of it, a dashboard of all of their alerts as well. So happy to go through. Anybody that wants to contact me, I'm happy to go through that process, because it's really seamless, really easy.
I highly recommend it, by the way. Don't hesitate. Jump in there, see the system. It's beautiful. It's easy to set up. It's easy to use. Just really impressive. And Impressive stuff there. And I wonder if we can stop sharing the screen so they can actually see our faces bigger. Let's see if I can stop and we can answer some more questions. I see everyone's still sticking
I got one
around.
from Richard here that says, how do you prioritize these notifications? Lenders work with a lot of realtors. Well, that's actually that's a really great question. And what I would say to that, Richard, is you want to work with the right agents for this system. I don't think it's a matter of telling all of your agents about this and seeing what sticks. What I think it's about is actually finding those really good partners of yours and kind of narrowing your focus. I mean, Todd Duncan talks about that all the time, is focusing on a very small set of real estate agents to do this, because you will get more out of those. And they're actually, Shannon, I believe her name was, had a comment just about that. She said, yeah, so she had a very long comment. I can't read all of it, but it was, she asked, is it better to focus on one or two agents or to spread the loves? Because she's on both sides. She's a realtor and a loan officer. And I would say it's better to focus on partners and get them going with this and get the infinite loop started, and then going to the next one and then going to the next one. So, but focusing and making sure that they understand that this is a true partnership of yours that you're doing. It's not just a, hey, this is a cool system. No, we're building a partnership utilizing this system. That's how you sell the real estate agent on that. But you don't want to just blanketly sell all the agents on it, because it's not for that. It's for really developing meaningful, lasting relationships.
Listen, it's a great point, and let me chime in for a second here. It really is aligning the interests. If you're working with a realtor, with an agent that doesn't believe what you believe, cool, let them go, set them free, right? And only build a team around you that believes what you believe, and you believe in them and they believe in you, and you start building around that. So maybe you'll start with 2, and then in a few months you find one that really aligns with you, great, and now you have 3, and then 6 months go by and you add another one, and then now you have 4, and then you may get to a point where you have 8, and you're like, you know what, unless I start building more business around, more team around me, I can't even handle more opportunities, right? You're creating, you go from having a database of 4,000 or 5,000 for yourself to all of a sudden you have 10,000 records and you're producing, 4,000 to 5,000 opportunities a year. You're going, this is good, this is great. I either need to build my team bigger, or I'm very happy. Let me just, and this is a really great practice. Instead of building your team bigger, you go deeper. You go, hey, I'm going to help you build your business more, and it will come back to me.
Yeah, there's a comment from Pablo that he just came and he said, build an inner circle of realtors to use this, have them fighting to get in. That's it. Then you now have the power, right? It's not this. It's, well, I mean, it's like you don't have to do that. They're going to start coming in. Yeah.
I got something for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly right. Exactly right. Pablo is all about this. I love Pablo on this. He said, why would an agent want to do business with anyone else? It's like discovering GPS. Why would I drive with a printed map? Exactly right.
Great points. So look, guys, if this all made sense to you, all right, you know how to reach out to Paul now. You guys know how to get in touch with us, right? Reach out to me. You can email me. That's my email right there. That's Paul's email right there. That's our website. Find us on LinkedIn. Hop on this. Don't wait. Go talk to your managers. Go talk to your agents. If you're an owner or a manager, find out about this, right? If nothing else, you're going to learn something that you can do for yourself. There's one thing that Paul and I really believe in. It's not about signing up for a service with Sales Boomerang or Usherpa. Of course, we'd love that. That's how we build our business. That's how we're able to innovate and give more to you guys. But learn something here. Come to us, find us. We would love to speak with you. Let us give you some insights. Let us give you a report. If nothing else, let Sales Boomerang give you a report to show you how much you've missed, so that you know how much you're bleeding, because this day of deals falling from the sky will come to an end, and you're going to have to really figure out how to sustain and how to build something that's perpetual. We'll help you identify where the holes are, right? If nothing else. And before I jump off, I promised Kobe from Alderis I'd give him a shout out. Kobe, what's up if you're still on? Hope you enjoyed this presentation. But Paul, man, always a pleasure hanging out with you and talking with you.
This is great. And I think Alex, I wanted to tease this just for everybody that's on the call right now. I think in about a month or so, we're going to try and do this, but actually have some people that have had success with this talk about it.
Yes.
So really taking it. So yeah, we've kind of teased what the concept is, but now we're going to talk with some lenders, with some mortgage companies that actually have put this into practice and really showcase how they do it, what they say, what scripts they say when they're talking to real estate agents. So doing all of those things. So look for the second one of these. We're going to have another one to really dive even deeper into this.
Yeah, and we're going to use existing lenders and loan officers and hopefully some realtors that are seeing the benefit of this thing if they're willing to join us.
Yep, exactly. So
awesome. Once again, thanks everyone, and we're going to go ahead and turn this thing off, and we'll see everyone soon.
Yeah, take care everybody. Stay safe.